Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
SDP. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
You know, a surprising amount of news for Wednesday, July 27th.
Right? It's not just that it's July 27th. It's that it's a Wednesday.
Yes. And it's just, you know, it's the Wednesday going into the long weekend in August where most news everywhere sort of, not that things stop happening, but things just go underreported because people need to take a vacation at some point.
No, this is an unusually busy summer.
It is, especially for the NHL.
Yeah, for a variety of reasons.
And obviously, you know, I believe the World Juniors start in like a week and a half.
I believe you. I can't fake an interest in it.
And I understand that. I understand. There will be people that are super pumped for it because there are people that are like, I live, I breathe, I can do this all the time. And then there's sometimes where it's like, hey, you could be an enormous hockey fan and still need to breathe.
Well, and this is the first time ever that the World Juniors are happening, and the World Juniors are the second biggest story related to the World Juniors happening.
Right. It's a good point. And we are going to talk about that first day of testimony in a little bit here.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear on that.
And from a star power standpoint, like the biggest names who are hoping to make NHL teams aren't going to be there. Yuri Slafkovsky's not going.
Juracek's, I don't think, going. Oh, no, he is going. Juracek is going.
Oh, he is going.
Yeah, Allan confirmed it yesterday on AP. Yeah, actually.
So wait, is that not out there?
I don't know.
I guess it will be
he's
momentarily.
He's already here, and then he's waiting for the team to show up, and he's going to join them. And because remember, he had that knee injury in the first World Juniors. And then he had to rehab it, and now he's ready to finish or restart and then finish the tournament.
I was about to say, it'd be weird if he immediately jumped to the NHL because he played so little hockey.
That's right. That's right.
But his skill's not far off. Making the Columbus the Blue Jackets as a defenseman, like he's a year away. He might be there halfway through the season.
He's not 4 years away from being 4 years away.
No, he's not terribly unlike Morgan Rielly. Went top 10 in a year where he just didn't play a whole lot. And wasn't it a knee injury as well?
I don't remember.
Well, Rielly was a knee injury. So not unlike Morgan Rielly.
Allan is also the agent of about half the Czech roster. So he's going to be in Edmonton watching.
Funny. Yeah. It's so funny how he found that niche, and he did a whole episode on how that began.
Yes,
and it all began with a punch to the face.
Another agent tried to attack him in the middle of a game. Punched him just for being there, just for being at a hockey game, scouting a player.
And I love that because I'm like, oh my God, what happens next? And Allan's just like, well, I'm an attorney, so I had him arrested.
Actually, you're going to love AP. So Allan sits down yesterday, just behind the scenes, and he said, okay, guys, I haven't spoken to anybody about anything that's happened. And let's run through the list of names here, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Let's run through the list.
Sort of did.
Huberdeau.
Little bit of big news.
Pacioretty.
Little bit of big news.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Little bit of big news.
David Perron. David Juracek.
Different team for the first four, drafted for the fifth.
Yeah, and there was a story behind all of them. So the big names are the ones that obviously we wanted to know about. And Allan said, ask me anything you want. And if I can't answer it, I'll tell you.
Well, that's better than I got. Because I was looking for his help on a trade tree, and he said nothing. I didn't even get a text back.
Because he's still working on it. Like, that Sean Dursey contract's not done yet. There's a lot of stuff that he still needs to work on this offseason. And so it's our last agent provocateur of the year. But if you want to get the agent and I think somewhat of the player perspective on these trades, especially Huberdeau and Pacioretty, it's out today at 1:00. By the time you're watching this, you'll be able to listen to it. And there's a really great story in it. Well, maybe we'll play it for you if you don't get the chance to listen. We'll play it for you on Friday just to promo it. Ooh. But there's a story about a little bit of a heated moment at the Stanley Cup between Rod Brind'Amour and Gary Bettman. And I will leave it at that. Rod Brind'Amour, the player.
Yes, I have.
Have you heard that? Have you seen that?
I saw a whisper of this story.
It's so Allan said, "Listen, I can't confirm it." Or he said it's not my story, but this is what's made its rounds in hockey circles, and it's quite the story.
Do you want to play the Huberdeau clip?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think
give me a clip.
I think it's good enough to be for us to break the news on it.
Yeah, because it is news, right? That's cool.
By the way, Allan ghosting me, I was like, the first text I sent to him, I'm like, oh man, I wonder why Allan hasn't gotten back to me. And then I checked his Instagram, and it was his anniversary. So
he talked about that too. He said his wife got him a condolences card because she lost the happy anniversary card. And she said, all we have is condolences cards.
Why is Allan helping you with a trade tree?
because it involved one of his clients.
Yeah, but like the information you need is, oh, this guy went to this team. You couldn't Google that?
Well, I can't spoil the trade tree, but it involved the trade at face value made no sense. So I had to be like, why did this happen? But he didn't respond.
Okay.
So I figured it out on my own, but it would have been way easier if the agent of the player was just like, oh, here's why.
Here's Allan Walsh on Huberdeau leaving Florida to go to Calgary.
I had a very positive meeting with Bill Zito in Montreal at the draft the day before. Went to his hotel suite, spent an hour and a half sitting there. We talked a little bit about a contract, but we didn't ever negotiate. We just talked about the timing and when I could expect an offer. And he said, listen, 100% want to sign Jonathan. Obviously, he's our most important player. He's our MVP. He had a hell of a season. I love the guy. Let's get through free agency the first, week to 10 days, and I'll send you something to get the ball rolling. And that's the way we left. So imagine Jonathan's surprise getting a call at 11 p.m. on Friday last week, letting him know that thank you very much for everything, but you've been traded to Calgary.
Woo! That's spicy, is it not?
This is what I've always wanted Agent Provocateur to be. And I forgot that we were missing one thing, an off season.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, calling Jonathan Huberdeau, saying that Bill Zito called Jonathan Huberdeau his MVP alone. I mean,
he was fifth in Hart voting. I mean, it's not a hard claim to make.
Yeah, maybe last year, but in general, like, does Barkov not exist? Isn't Ekblad? Is Ekblad the captain or is Barkov?
I don't even know.
I can't even remember. Ooh, not the goalie you pay $10 million. Certainly not, because you're trying to trade him too.
You think that was good? Wait till you hear him talk about Vegas.
No,
am I allowed to play this one too?
Spicy. All right.
It's an hour show. What if I play 2 minutes,
Okay. I want to hear it.
It's news.
I want to hear it.
Carolina.
Hey, wait, no.
Okay.
Hey, you listen to the full episode, damn it.
Yeah, are we blowing the episode here?
No, it's an hour.
Right.
We're playing 2 minutes from it.
We're giving you this treat. Okay? You're getting dessert before dinner, but you eat your vegetables.
There is actually, but the episode is not vegetables.
Also, the episode's going to be out before
you're
us.
Right.
Yeah,
you eat listen to the fucking episode. All right, here we go.
There's a lot more that he says about Huberdeau there than what was given.
That's a minute from an hour.
Yeah.
Here's another minute from the other hour. This is Allan Walsh talking about Carolina acquiring Max Pacioretty.
And there was a fit, and they were one of the only ones in the whole league that were able to do that. So Carolina probably just sat there and said, you know what, we'll take the contract. We want the player. We like the player. Mm-hmm. We can make $7 million work, but you're going to give them to us for free. And I mean, you got to imagine there was a little bit of a message being delivered here. Okay. Could it have been a 7th round pick or a 6th round pick? I think Carolina intentionally said, we'll do this, but we're going to make it future considerations, because it kind of embarrassed Vegas to have to do that, and in many ways exposed their cap mismanagement. And there were several other GMs along the way that commented to me how they thought the way that trade was structured was intentional on Carolina's part.
Ooh. Don Waddell, baby. Don Waddell, baby.
Well, and now I'm sitting here trying to think, who did Carolina lose to Vegas? I don't remember.
Carolina lose to Vegas.
Oh, in the expansion draft?
Yeah.
I can tell you.
I'm trying to think. I want to say they're one of the teams that made a deal.
Yeah? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Ooh.
That's 5 years ago. That's
you know what?
5 years and 2 years of a pandemic ago. That's like
You have a
7
guess?
years.
No.
Oh.
A defenseman, probably.
They showed the protected players.
Cap-friendly
The
winner.
Carolina Hurricanes lost. Where are their names? Connor Brickley.
Yeah, that had to be a deal.
Yeah, there's probably a deal in there.
I think they sweetened the pie.
The Carolina Hurricanes traded Boston's 5th round pick in the 2017 entry draft in exchange for Vegas selecting Connor Brickley. So they sent a 5th, and you got to take
That is
Brickley.
nothing.
Oh,
That's a whole pile of nothing.
So they're one of the teams that should hate Vegas the least.
Yeah. I think it's just more along the lines of you guys can't keep doing this shit. And somebody needs to tell you.
Yeah.
Like if you want to live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah, 100%.
And Don Waddell's the kind of guy.
The sword.
The sword! I didn't even think about
that. Because listen, don't shit in the well you drink from. And Vegas did a whole bunch of shitting in 2017.
Yep.
And it's
That's
not
disgusting.
It is, but it's not going so hot for them right now.
There's some other stuff about Vegas in there that I think is really interesting. Gives you some insight into what it's like inside. And
Does Allan have any more Vegas clients?
not anymore. They're all gone.
I think he might have one more.
No, I don't think he does.
Oh, really?
And the reality is, like, listen, you don't have to get along with every GM. If your client's there, You have to do what's best on behalf of your client, right? I'm sure they get along great, though. I'm sure they get along great.
For sure.
Now, I have to ask you, if you went to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN and you looked up the odds, Jesse, I'm going to ask you specifically. What are the odds that in terms of on the prop bet section, statues built, what are the odds that Dustin Brown's name comes up on Sports Interaction, even shows up there? Statues built for former players.
Well, I think his odds should be 1 of 1.
Well, it is now.
It's happening.
So Dustin Brown is going to have a statue outside Staples Center alongside Wayne Gretzky and Luc Robitaille.
Huh. Well, when you put it that way... Ooh, I was about to defend it.
Forget the basketball. Gretzky, Robitaille. Remember, Yari Curry was a pretty good king for a while. Scored more goals than I think Dustin Brown did. Dustin Brown had one season over 30 goals. He was the captain for a long time. He did help them get their first cup. He was a grinder. He was an LA king to his soul. Mm-hmm. So how would you defend it? Tell me how you would defend it.
I would defend it as no team or no fans or media outside of the LA bubble should have an opinion on this. Or you can have an opinion on this, but just know that it's irrelevant. My opinion on Dustin Brown getting a statue, irrelevant. So is yours, so is Jesse's. It only matters to LA Kings fans, and only they can tell you whether or not he deserves it. And let's take a look. Lifelong king, lifelong leader. No, he was never really their leading scorer for a consistent period of time. He might have been 1 or 2 seasons. Rocked dudes with hits and captained them to their first 2 cups.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, looking at it from a Leafs fan's perspective, I would gladly give 5 or 6 statues to someone with the resume of Dustin Brown had he performed that in a Leafs uniform.
1,296 games, 712 points.
All with LA?
All with LA.
Yep.
Every single game.
Dustin Brown 100% deserves a statue, and it's a crypto.com arena.
Oh, it's not Staples. That's right. You're right.
They took away the stapler.
Well,
store.
we'll see how long it stays crypto.com. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
So, like 18 years, as you said, with the entirety of the Kings, the captain of both Stanley Cups, their only 2 Stanley Cups. That to me is local legend. That's a hero to your franchise. It reminds me of like Kyle Lowry, like an outsider NBA fan who's lives south of the border, who looks at Kyle Lowry. Why would the Raptors put a statue of Kyle Lowry outside of the Scotiabank Arena?
comparison.
Like, we would be like, it's fucking Kyle Lowry. That's the greatest Raptor of all time.
Oh, he wasn't even the best Raptor on the championship team.
No.
Well, who gives a shit?
Some Celtics fan would be like, that's fucking Kyle Lowry. What the hell are these Canadians doing? And I look at this and I say, Dustin Brown's resume is all there for a legend for the LA Kings. And if anybody deserves a statue, is the guy who played his entire career there, won 2 Stanley Cups as the captain, and was a hero to the franchise.
He also, in the 20 games they played on the way to the Stanley Cup final, or at least the 20 games he played in the first one, he had 20 points, 8 goals, 12 assists. That's pretty valuable. I also want to. Can I just throw this out there? Stats aside.
Sure.
And I agree. If you're a fan of 31 other franchises, and you go, what the hell's happening here? I agree with you. You're right, objectively. But even if that's true, can we not just be happy?
Yeah.
Like, let's just be happy for them. If Dustin Brown, I think we underrate something in this sport, and that is relationship with the fans.
Yeah.
LA Kings fans looked at Dustin Brown like he would die for them. Well, and he played like he would.
Well, and he was extremely unpopular amongst the fan bases of teams that the Kings played.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Which is a check mark on his resume, not an X.
Yeah, so if the Ducks and the Sharks hate him, then you like him.
Canucks.
And I think so. I feel like let's just be happy for them. It's obviously making its rounds on Twitter today and that sort of thing. I don't know if you can statistically say Dustin Brown deserves this, but I think I hate to say this, intangibly, the relationship and the popularity and the history with the fan base. Listen, man, I like Steve said, I would love to have a guy with that kind of resume play for the Toronto Maple Leafs and win 2 cups with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'd be happy. Great.
If Darcy Tucker captained the Leafs to 2 cups,
give him a fucking.
Oh, he'd be mayor.
We'd rename Maple Leaf Square after him. How many playoff games did Dustin Brown play?
92.
92
Wow.
plus 1,200 regular season?
1,296, almost 1,300.
Oh my God. So the dude played like 1,400 games all with one team. Yeah, shut up, guys.
I got the most important stat. He's 6th in goals in LA Kings history. He's 8th in assists. He's 7th in points, but he's number 1 in the most important category.
Captain to cups.
That.
Yes.
And games played. He's nobody's ever played more games as LA King than Dustin Brown.
More than Marcel Dion?
Yeah, he's number 1 in games played.
Wow.
I'm surprised.
He is an LA King forever.
Let me ask you this. Okay, go through. Do you have the actual goal stats there? Like the top scores in LA Kings history? Can you look that up?
He's
I want
reading
to see
an
if we can
article
guess
on
some of them.
some
Hey, don't look
bullshit
at the
website.
here. I know you don't have any eyesight anymore, so it doesn't matter. But
I literally wouldn't be able to read it.
Don't you put those on?
I don't know why I reached.
I'm
gonna look at
what do you want to do?
I want to see how many players. So Dustin Brown is 6th all time in goals for the Kings.
He is.
I want to see how many of the players ahead of him we can get.
Okay.
So obviously Gretzky's there, but is he number 1? Probably not.
You know what's amazing? I was going to say Marcel Dion.
Marcel Dion's number 1.
With the Kings, yes.
Yeah, and then we're just talking with the Kings. So I think it's Dion.
Then probably
No, Robitaille. No,
Are you
Robitaille number 1.
Are you guys trying to do this in order or just name the 5 guys ahead of him?
I think we got to do it in order too.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
So
Robitaille
Robitaille's
played
got to be
with
number
other
1.
Okay, deliberate and then give me your list when you're done.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think. Robitaille played there 3 times. Right?
Did he?
Yeah, he got. Apparently, there's actually a story. He and Gretzky didn't get along, and Gretzky basically got him traded. Yeah, because Gretzky wanted Curry, and there was some sort of thing and whatever. But Robitaille's got to be number 1 in goals. He's got to be.
I'm risking it all and saying Dion number 1.
Okay, so let's write these down here so I can remember.
Yeah.
So Steve is
I'm
Dion.
Dion number 1.
It's not Steve. It's both of you together.
Oh man.
You got one list.
Okay.
Submit one.
Who
list.
do you want number 1?
For goals, just goals. I do want Robitaille. But I understand Dion because he's like 3rd all time in scoring, like in the NHL history, or like 4th or
Points,
something.
though.
I know.
He has like 1,700
I know, but
points.
the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He
let's go
played
Dion. So Dion, Robitaille. So
Dion
that's 1, 2.
Robitaille, I think Gretzky's 3rd.
Yeah, probably. And then what are the other 2 guys in the French Connection line for LA? Or no, that was Buffalo. What are the other 2?
Buffalo.
What were the other 2 guys on Dion's line?
I don't remember.
Because I don't think it's going to be Jeff Carter. I don't think it's going to be
Good name.
like who are the big
No.
who are the main scorers? It's not going to be.
It might be Kopitar.
Good point. And Gaborik, maybe? No.
No, he wasn't a King long enough.
So Kopitar then? In
Kopitar
goals?
4?
Sure. And then we need a 5th. And I think it's got to be either a line mate of Gretzky or a line mate of Dion. And I don't know.
Do we want to go Curry?
Was Curry there long enough?
I don't know. It's funny looking back, like they really have a spotty history.
Oh yeah.
Like who after Gretzky, after the Gretzky Kings, who was the Kings like top guy? Right? For like most of our childhoods.
Yeah, the Burger King after the Burger King jerseys.
Mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. Like you know who I think their captain was is Lubomir Visnovsky. Or no, it wasn't Lubomir. No, what the hell's the guy's name? Matthias Nordstrom.
Whoa.
Yeah, like a total lack of star power, and that's not hating on Nordstrom. It's just the truth. So Kopitar 4, I don't know, Curry 5.
Let's say Curry.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's not great. I think it's one of Dion's line mates, but I can't remember their names.
All right, there we are.
Can you give me your list?
So
Read it off.
Marcel Dion, Luc Robitaille, Wayne Gretzky, Anze Kopitar, and Jari Curry.
I'm gonna feel really bad if it's not Dion.
Okay, what do we got?
The list is
Son of a bitch!
Luc Robitaille,
Sorry,
Marcel Dion, Dave Taylor, Anze Kopitar, and then Bernie Nichols.
Bernie Nichols, that's so bad.
You didn't have
Should have had Bernie Nichols.
Dave Taylor or Bernie Nichols,
No
and then
excuse.
you had Dion and Robitaille in the wrong order.
Oh, Butch Goring, I think, is one of the names you were looking for.
You guys get 0 points.
Wasn't Dave Taylor and Butch Goring, weren't they the line mates?
I think they might
And
be.
when was Bernie Nichols playing for them?
I can't remember.
Was that Gretzky era?
Jeff Carter's tied for 10th.
I'm giving you guys 0 points. Fuck.
I'm so upset.
Well, and you know what, Steve? Maybe that plays to your point. Okay, we love hockey. We follow hockey. You especially are like amazing with recall on hockey stats, and we can't even name the top 5 scorers in Kings history. So maybe we don't understand the relationship that Kings fans have with Dustin Brown, and maybe that's fair.
Before and after Gretzky, they weren't much of a factor in the NHL.
And Bernie Nichols was an '80s king. That's why he's up there. And he also was
They weren't a star power factor in the NHL for like most of their existence.
and that's why Gretzky was traded there by the NHL. They needed star power in California. They needed California to do well.
And he got him all the way to the Cup final.
Absolutely. Against that stupid Montreal team with all those Hall of Famers.
Just the Leafs would have beat.
No,
they would have got
everybody that says the Leafs would have beaten Montreal in the 93 final, you're out of your mind.
No.
You're out of your mind. The Leafs shouldn't even have been in the 3rd round. We were lucky to be there. It was like all the talent was at the top, and then Felix Potvin.
That George Strombolopoulos wasn't terribly passionate about a ton of hockey takes, but that was his one that behind the scenes he was like, "Shut up."
Yeah, no, it wasn't going to
Leafs
happen.
would have beat the 93 Habs. Shut up.
Pierre Luc-Dubois, we mentioned him in the last episode. He's re-signed in Winnipeg for $6 million one season, and he said, "Listen, guys, whatever you read in the media, the media is not true." His agent, so straight up, his agent did. He's like, just so you're hearing it from the man himself. He referred to himself as the man. You're hearing it from the man himself, is what he said in the media or in the interview. I never said I wanted out of Winnipeg. I never requested a trade. That's what he said. That's where he stopped, though. He didn't say, I want to be in Winnipeg long term. He didn't say, we're working on an extension. He said, I never said I wanted a trade. And that's objectively true. His agent did.
I hope he gets booed.
Can I read his quote?
Please.
After the season ended, me and my agent started talking about different situations and different scenarios, and we felt that at this time, the 1-year deal, I think, was the way we wanted to go. We talked with the team. We had conversations. Like I said, I thought the best thing to do was a 1-year deal and qualifying offer. Now that's taken care of. My contract aside, I'm ready to go for the season.
That's a manipulative interpretation of the events that led up to this.
You hear stuff that I want out of Winnipeg. If I wanted out, I would have asked for a trade. I didn't ask for a trade, not for 1 second. It didn't cross my mind for 1 second.
Yes, because you know what it would have done to your reputation. if
No,
you'd done
I
that.
just made it really difficult for them to keep me.
What the hell is this?
Pierre, stop.
Why is he acting like we're all dumb?
Stop.
Well, and did you see the interview?
I didn't watch it. I
He's
read
very passionate. It's like, I can't believe it. Where's this coming from?
Where's this coming from? Could it be, I don't know, my
agent?
past actions?
Or the guy who I pay to represent me? Remember, it wasn't that like anybody was like looking at the Jets like, hey, I bet you we could float this rumor about Pierre Luc-Dubois wanting out of Winnipeg. His dad effing coaches there. A lot of people thought he probably wants to stay long term.
Well, and like, God love Allan, but with the Marc-Andre Fleury sword stuff, remember the point that I made was, this is Fleury. His agent tweeted this, a person he employs tweeted this, And if he didn't like it, he could have it down with a phone call. And it wasn't taken down.
Yeah.
Because which to me, I interpreted as an endorsement. And God love Allan, God love Marc-Andre Fleury as well. I mean, they're kind of looking like the good guys after all this.
Well, they were right.
With regard
Turns
to Vegas.
out they were right.
Yeah, they treat players like commodities instead of people.
And they fired the head coach, who is not even...
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Who we saw wearing a Vegas mask on the plane to the draft. LOL. Yeah, it's Pierre. Stop. So I think he's just tired of getting pooped on. And don't worry, the Jets will take the ice, and fans will be far more upset at other players other than you.
How long does he have left? Does he make it to the end of this?
Here's what I think. I think Pierre Luc-Dubois is a potential great move for the Winnipeg Jets, who I think need to rebuild at the trade deadline.
I mean, Puljujärvi got a contract too.
Nobody wants term.
Yeah.
Nobody wants term. Yeah, Puljujärvi did, and Edmonton just does not like him. Like they just plug their nose and sign the contract.
Why doesn't anyone want to pay top dollar for this piece of shit? This hunk of garbage shit.
We can't find a good trade partner for this player that we fucking hate.
Hate and smear at every opportunity. Like, no,
and it's not, they don't smear it. They drop it to the media, who then, sources within the team say this.
I think Pierre Luc-Dubois gets moved after, God damn it, Nas. Fucking sign somewhere so we can get on with our summers.
Oh, you think he gets traded the off season?
Well, there will be runners up to Nas, right?
Yeah, the hell of a consolation prize.
Is that allowed? Because I know there's some restrictions on if you accept a qualifying offer, then you can't be traded within a certain amount of time. I don't know what. So I don't know what his deal would be.
I don't believe this was a QO though.
Yeah.
But
there was a settlement, wasn't it?
Was it?
Right.
Or no, it was a qualifying offer.
He just accepted his qualifying offer?
I think he did. He just took a while to do it, which left him open to an offer sheet that no one gave him because
no one was going to do that. Remember, everybody was going to offer sheet Rasmus Sandin. Stop it! No, they're not. I think
she's just a friend, babe.
Calgary would be a really good landing spot for him.
Absolutely.
You've got
Montreal would be a really good landing spot for him. You know why? That's where he wants to go. Like, why are we all fucking doing this song and dance for Pierre Luc-Dubois? We know what you want. Stop. We're not stupid. Stop. I don't care what you say now. I heard what you said before. Stop.
PLD can be traded.
He can.
Anywhere.
You're not going to unsay the things your agent said.
Well,
stop.
Maybe he can get swapped for Nick Suzuki, one of the top 10 worst contracts in the league.
Dumb.
No, I
beg
loved
your
it.
pardon.
I loved that because that made me read the article. That made me go, okay, I got to know. And I think Dom's like, I don't know why the model spit this out this way, and I'm really encouraged to see how this goes, because it's like everybody's like, that's crazy, and you kind of have Dom in there going, yeah, that sounds a little crazy. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I respect that.
Dom was getting creamed for something that he fully willingly acknowledged. It was odd,
and that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see not just how wrong it is, like how he is hoping, but also like, would something that alarmingly off to the eye cause you to make an adjustment to the model?
Well, and I think that's probably, I think what you're seeing right now is Dom like perfecting his model.
Yeah.
With the Athletics blessing on their site. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's
really got it made, doesn't he?
Yeah, because they're paying him to perfect a model that he's coming up with. I think that's cool. And
he's on like the hockey news lists and shit.
Absolutely.
Dude's like not even 30. Dom, fuck off.
Yeah, and he's good looking and a nice guy too.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck him. Right?
Fuck off.
The thing with Pierre Luc-Dubois is that, you know, it really comes down now to actions. Like you asked
30 goals.
Right. You asked to get out of Columbus. They didn't trade you. So your actions on the ice were that you were terrible. And then you went to Winnipeg. You got traded for the best best goal scorer in franchise history outside of Teemu Selanne.
Wow. How dare you? Alexei Zhamnov exists.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. And Steen Sr.
Well, and Jeremy
Thomas
Roenick.
Steen. That's right. Jeremy Roenick.
He was a Coyote.
That's right. But you see what I'm saying here, right? Is that this is the best goal scorer that Winnipeg's ever had, except for Solani, and they're dealing him for Pierre Luc-Dubois. And Pierre Luc-Dubois comes in, he has a good season. He was good. He's good. And then your agent comes out and says that after they've given up this player who's extremely popular for you. It's not a good look. So if Pierre Luc-Dubois would like to dispel any of these rumors, him being on a Zoom call with a media outlet after his agent has said what he said isn't going to mean much. He needs to show up at Jets camp or whatever team ends up trading for him. But really, he'll be at Jets camp. He needs to show up in the best shape of his life, and he needs to have a barn burner season between two guys who score a lot of offense, or really working with two guys that score a lot of offense. He's not going to always play with Scheifele or Blake Wheeler, but the reality is they'll be playing together a lot. Power plays and things like that.
Maybe Ehlers.
They probably won't play a lot of defense. Who cares? Just score a bunch of goals and everybody forgets about it.
Defense doesn't get you a contract. We go out there and win every game 7-6 and lose every game 7-6. They don't look at your Corsi on your deal. Fuck it. No, I would say for Pierre Luc-Dubois, nothing you say can repair the damage from this offseason.
Yeah.
So you have to just work really hard, like you said, get out there and kick ass when the games start. Stop flapping your gums. Get out there and, I don't know, flap your arms, flap your legs in the gym.
That's right.
because it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work.
Hey, been a while.
Yeah.
But what does the promo code Dangle get you these days?
I think it gets 20% off and free shipping for
Where?
your balls.
Where, Steven?
Manscaped.com.
That's right. Let's go Manscaped tip to toe. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
You tippy
Tip
toes?
to toe.
Or
Tip to toe. Lather up with the ultra premium body wash, aloe vera, and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized. Hey, by the way, if you want to go above, hair care time. It's the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, which Steve actually uses and smells great. I have smelled that on you. Once you hop out of the shower, protect yourself from body odor by applying Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. The deodorant dries clear, and so it doesn't get on your clothes and everything.
Aluminium.
And it's got a nice refined cologne to it. And if you got tattoos or dry skin, you got to try the hydrating body moisturizer spray, and then, of course, the Manscaped lip balm so you can look sexy with your lips.
that made me uncomfortable.
So all you have to do is go to manscaped.com. And what do you got to do at manscaped.com?
You gotta use the promo code Dangle. I was gonna say balls.
That's right. 20% off and free
missed
shipping
it.
with the code Dangle at manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine.
Give me one more. Balls!
Jonathan Toews sat down with Mark Lazarus, and I missed this morning. I'm so glad Jesse brought it up. There's a quote, Jesse, that you wanted to read specifically that, you know, obviously in the interview, he talks about the possibility of not being a Chicago Blackhawk. Where the Chicago Blackhawks are at.
What is this, from 2 years ago?
Well, it's not, because it doesn't seem like he got that they weren't very good. There's a couple of quotes in here. If Jesse's not going to read this one, I'll read it after.
Yeah.
But like, you go ahead, Jesse.
I got it up now. So yeah, during the sit down, Toews, get your shit together. He spilled his drink during the interview.
Idiot.
Yeah, all over the table.
Idiot.
And he also said,
Imagine doing that. I did that last show. You weren't here yet. I spilled a drink on your table.
he also said, at the end of the day, we're talking about a 5+ year process, according to GM Kyle Davidson. So that part of it doesn't sound appealing to me at all. I can't speak for Patrick Kane, but I definitely feel that the amount of turnover our team has gone through every single year these last 3 or 4 years, that's where it really gets really draining and exhausting. You have a guy like DeBrincat, who was under Kaner's wing, and I like to think that Kirby and I had that bond in some ways too, and out they go. Out the door. Over and over, we've seen that turnover. I'm learning to be more patient, but there's no doubt that timeline is pretty daunting. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do what I'm going to do or what the future holds for me, because I really don't know. And at the beginning of the article, he talks about how jealous he is of Evgeny Malkin, who just re-signed in Pittsburgh because they're still going for it, and he wishes he was in that position. He's like, the grass isn't greener or whatever, but like, I look at Malkin and I'm jealous that he gets to re-sign going out as old age.
And I understand that,
yeah,
to your point.
He wanted to be a Blackhawk forever and always be competitive, but he doesn't get that luxury.
Can we be clear about the English language? That's a trade request. Jonathan Toews requested to be traded. Yes. In as many words. He didn't use the words, okay, here's two different ways of saying something. I am hungry and would like to eat a pizza. Mm-hmm. Or no, I would like to eat a pizza. There's a sentence.
Okay.
So ask me, Steve, would you like to get a pizza?
Steve, would you like to get a pizza?
Well, I'm certainly hungry. I could eat. I could definitely eat. In terms of preference, who's not a fan of dough? Garlicky dough at that.
Do you like tomato sauce?
Some people like tomato sauce, others don't. I would fit into the camp of the people who do.
Right.
Cheese is universally loved. Lactose, non-lactose, I'll take the pills, doesn't matter. And a variety of toppings are always to be desired.
Let's go through every topping that's ever existed on a pizza, and let's say yes or no to these pets.
Well, here with the Chicago Blackhawks organization, we once were a big proponent of pepperoni. And we traded pepperoni to the Montreal Canadiens in this offseason.
Adam, was that the quote you were going to read?
No, but I do want to. I want to read this, and I want to make a point. But did you want to keep going?
Yeah, I thought we were done with that.
John,
Jesse was done with.
Just say you want to be traded. What is this?
Okay. So here's Laz writes this. Toews, like Kane, is facing the possibility, the very high probability that this will be his last in Chicago. He might even be shipped out before it ends. Quote. When we traded Brendan Hagel, then we traded Cat, then Kirby, reality set in, okay, this is where we're at, and we've got to really focus on the future. And it's just unfortunate it's come to that, but it is what it is. So much of this stuff has been out of my control for quite some time, and it's a weird place to be in as a captain. So here's the part that I really want to stress to you. When we traded Hagel, DeBrincat, Kirby Doc, reality really set in. Okay, Jonathan. Let's talk about the Blackhawks for a second. Forget the off-ice stuff, which is kind of hard to forget. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. But forget the off-ice stuff that happened last season.
As a mental exercise, let's try.
Let's talk about...
Yeah. It's difficult to separate the two, the organization and everything that went on with it last year.
I'm going to ask in this instance that we try.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when reality set in, he's saying the trade deadline this year is when reality really set in. Jonathan, you're the captain. Since 16-17, when you guys lost in the first round to the Nashville Predators and scored 3 goals in 4 total games, you have not finished higher in your division than 6th.
As a team. You're not talking about him as an individual performer.
That's right.
Because how many games did he play in that stretch? Because he's been injured quite a bit.
I don't know this, but I'm looking at the Blackhawks record. The Blackhawks have not finished guys higher than 6th in the Central in 5 years.
In their division.
That's what I'm saying.
The Predators really did ruin the Blackhawks.
They did, and so that's when the Saad Panarin deal happens, which you wanted, by the way.
I wanted?
No, Toews wanted.
He wanted.
Toews and Kane wanted.
I was like, I didn't want the deal. I don't care.
But let me make this point, guys. The only way, and they did technically make the playoffs in the lockout year, where they finished 7th in the Central, but they won their qualifying round against the Oilers and then lost 4-1 against the Golden Knights.
They were 23rd.
But they were 7th in the division. So you're telling me after 4 straight years of finishing no higher than 6th in your division, that this trade deadline, where you were very much in 7th place in the division, this is the trade deadline where now reality has set in.
Yeah.
If that's the reality has just set in then, if that's really the reality you're living in, you're not living in reality.
The Montreal Canadiens, when they eliminated the Pittsburgh Penguins in their qualifying round, went on to lose to the Philadelphia Flyers, but they gave them a run for their money. Mm-hmm. The Blackhawks defeated the Edmonton Oilers and proceeded to get murdered.
Just stampeded.
Murdered. I believe it was by Vegas.
Yeah, Golden Knights.
Yeah.
If you throw out that bubble season, which is wonky anyways, the Blackhawks haven't played a playoff game since 2017.
That's right. Against the Predators when they were shut out.
This is like
3 goals for, 13 goals against in that series.
This man really said, like, with regard to the Chicago Blackhawks, I don't want to get divorced. I just hate everything about our marriage. Guys, that's a trade request.
Yeah.
This interview is a many paragraph long trade request.
And you gotta think that, with 1 year left with Kane, 1 year left with Toews, I think when those deals happen, Kane is going to fetch a return. There's no question.
Sure.
Right. And I think the Chicago Blackhawks are going to have to retain half on both of those deals to make that money work because we're in a flat cap state. Right.
Also, it doesn't matter to them. Like,
doesn't
they
matter,
need
yeah.
to reach the floor this season.
Honestly,
it's for 1 year.
But
Who cares?
they might be both three-way deals.
But that aside, I actually think what's going to happen is if Toews gets moved, it's a Pacioretty deal. That means but in this time
It's going to be a lot worse than that.
Well, it's what I mean. It's like they're going to have to retain and throw something in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not a bad player. He's not the player he was. But if you're looking for, the guy, we still don't know that he can be a number one center anymore. But defensively responsible, wins tons of faceoffs, probably can play the power play for you. Very smart hockey mind. That's a valuable player on a team at about half the salary and nothing thrown in. I think that's a Blackhawks retain and a future considerations.
It's so shit that, he went through what he went through
Totally.
with that season off, because if you look at his numbers, Jesse has them up. He really was going through a career renaissance kind of individually. The team was not very good around him, but he was going through a renaissance. And last year was like a pretty decided step backward. I think he got better as the season went, if I remember correct. But
If I may, the Blackhawks at their very, very worst, which was, I'd say, the late 90s to when Toews and Kane were drafted, right? So literally
mid 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. From 97 to 2007, 2008, they made the playoffs one time. Their division, let me tell you where they finished in their division. And remember, divisions were different back then. But here's what they finished: 5th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 3rd, 5th, 4th, 5th, 3rd.
So they're
in the
worse
last
now.
5 years, 7th, 6th, 7th, 6th, 7th.
They're not just worse now, they've been worse.
And they will continue. This could be this stretch. If they don't turn it around and they don't rebuild this quickly, we'll see what Davidson can do. If they don't rebuild this quickly, you're looking at a stretch here for Blackhawks fans where you're already halfway into that bad decade of hockey that you just got out of.
His timeline is 5 years.
And
Like Toews says it.
This is the worst part for Jonathan Toews is the Blackhawks. Do we agree that the Blackhawks are going to have to sweeten the pot to get rid of him?
I don't think so. I think it's a little
10.5.
Yeah, but he's a good player, and if they pick up half the salary, then it's 5.5 to a team who can do it.
Yep.
Like I think we still have teams like Vegas who are
Calgary,
looking at that. And
He
like,
better hope. He has to have individually a really, really good season because it incentivizes a team to go out and get you. Because the Blackhawks, I mean, if I'm Kyle Davison and I'm rebuilding, I refuse to sweeten the pot to get rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because we're not in a position to do that.
they don't have to move him.
No, yeah, you just stay on our bad,
If I'm Kyle
very
Davidson,
bad team.
I can wait this out. Like if I don't get a return for Toews and Kane, if there's nothing out there, I can just sit there.
They'll get the return for
I
Kane.
think they get the return for these two guys.
Toews, I'm not so sure, guys, because tell me that you can't find a center for less than $5.5 million. Let's assume that you're getting him for 5.5 or 5.25 or whatever half of 10.5 is, right? Let's just assume. Tell me you can't find another center for less money than that gets you 12 goals and 25 assists.
But this is we're talking about like something at the trade deadline when injuries have happened, guys are on LTIR, there's cap space, and then when you get to the trade deadline, the cap hit isn't as much because it's prorated by
and you're
a day in
trading
the
for
season.
a 34-year-old often injured recently.
for 3 months, and you're like, Toews can help us win a cup.
Are you ready for some words?
Let's hear it.
They're big words in hockey. Experience.
Yeah.
I think, and I get
Presence.
that. There is
You
value
don't think
to that.
that somebody wants Toews and Kane?
No, I'm just saying that
No,
for
no, you keep
Toews,
saying Kane.
I'm only saying
Because
Toews.
Kane still produces.
This is a guy who missed 2 years. He missed 2 years, guys. 2 seasons.
Year and a half.
Well,
if you count it.
1920, he played 70 games, did not play. and
Well,
then-
that's because of the fucking...
Yeah,
Yeah, I
pandemic,
guess. Okay, didn't play at all, though.
1 year.
okay, 1 year.
Yeah, because he played in the bubble. He was there in the bubble.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
He
yeah.
9 points in 9 games in the bubble.
And
Yeah.
then
Thank you very much, Edmonton Oilers.
and then comes back and gets 37 points in 71 games.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, if he does get moved, it'll have to be the day of the trade deadline to make him as inexpensive as possible.
Mhm.
And it still might take a third team to pull it off.
Yep.
And if it requires a third team, you're going to need a third party who really, really wants him because you can't afford to sweeten the pot.
And there are 32 GMs in the National Hockey League.
Oh, somebody's going to want him. I'm just saying.
One of them is going to look at Jonathan Toews and say, that's a good hockey guy. He's coming to my team no matter what.
Oilers paid a premium to get Duncan Keith.
Yeah, from this team.
You know, it hasn't worked for 5 years, but it could work for us.
Yeah.
Somebody looks at Toews and says that.
Yeah, I think, here, we're getting away from the point. That's a trade request. And I wish he would stop. There's another guy who should stop. Stop it, Jonathan. Stop it.
Do they get statues next to Michael Jordan
Oh,
outside the United Center?
I mean, you know what? If this was a year ago, before we had Rick Westhead on, I would probably say yes, absolutely. What are you even talking about? Why are we even asking the question, right? You know what I mean?
Blackhawks organization should maybe put a hiatus on that shit for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because you would have probably said Toews, Kane, Duncan Keith, maybe Seabrook and Corey Crawford. Because they were part of that core five.
They did like a little 5-guy statue, and they're all there celebrating, but you can't do that anymore.
Niemi. I mean, he did get them their first cup. Man. Because I didn't know much about hockey other than I was a fan, and he had a good record. They had me convinced he was a really good goalie that the Leafs should get.
Yep.
And I was wrong.
I mean, you got to remember that was 2010. Who was the Leafs goalie in 2010?
Koskela?
I think it was Jaguar.
Oh,
Jaguar and Gustafson, maybe.
So we could.
And we were looking at Jaguar like he was a glass of water.
Tall
in the desert.
Tall glass
of water in the desert.
I liked Jaguar.
Oh yeah,
who didn't like Jiggy? But
yeah, he was okay.
Yeah, he was better than okay. He was exemplary against the standard that the Leafs had at the time,
yes.
which was allowing all the goals, all of them, every one of them.
You should go back and look at team save percentages and look at the Leafs. You know, I mentioned the Blackhawks' really bad years as a franchise. The Leafs were just as bad.
Nope. Self-care summer. Don't go look.
Look in September. Self-care summer. I like that. Hey, what's your butt been up to?
Stuff.
Yeah?
Going to games.
That's cool. Oh, yeah. Jesse, your butt actually has had some fun this week. We were talking about you driving a cool car the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
You put your butt in it?
You put his butt in that?
Put my butt in the car.
It was in one place and then it went really quickly to another place.
Now, if Jesse wanted to put his butt in a seat for a game, what would be the best app to do it on?
Oh, man. I don't know. Is there one?
It's a good thing you asked, Steve. SeatGeek, my friend.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Listen, SeatGeek is beloved by butts everywhere, specifically Jesse's hard, supple ass.
Get some Jays tickets.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. They are the highest rated ticketing app. So whether it's concerts, baseball, basketball, football, festivals, anything else, hockey when it comes back, SeatGeek puts butts in seats everywhere, all over the country. Now you can get $20 off your first purchase with the promo code SDP at SeatGeek.com or at the SeatGeek app. Again, that's promo code SDP, $20 off SeatGeek order, your first one. SeatGeek, get your seat a seat. Download the app today.
This podcast, by the way, like per capita, unreal asses.
All three of us?
All of us.
We do. We just line these up. And that's why you need to use SeatGeek to make sure they're sitting somewhere awesome. Hey, we're old. No, well, actually, we're not. But one of the things that happens as you get old is NAD. I hadn't heard about this before, but NAD is in every single cell of your body. It's responsible for creating energy and regulating hundreds of cell functions. But NAD declines as you age. Lack of sleep, intense exercise, or too much sun can deplete NAD levels. And decreased NAD levels are linked to faster biological aging. But there is a way around this, and that is with Elysium Health. Elysium Health is a game changer. It's the cornerstone of your daily routine, but you don't need to try it for yourself to experience the results. Okay? Here's what you need to do. Go to trybasis.com/SDP and enter our code SDP at checkout. You need some of this NAD in your system. You'll save 10% off Basis prepaid plans, as well as other Elysium Health supplements. That's trybasis.com/SDP and use our code SDP at checkout to save 10%. Thank you to Elysium Health for sponsoring this episode. Listen, I'm not saying it's too early to bet NFL, because it isn't.
Never.
Sports interaction. Now, we talked about it with Dave Bassel earlier this week. NFL odds are up there. MVP, Super Bowl odds. CJ always likes to do this before the NHL season starts. He likes to try to pick a winner beforehand and see how his pick goes throughout the regular season. And usually he's pretty good. By the way, you get the best odds right now at sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Doing it right since 1997. They are Canada's sportsbook with the most competitive odds. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit and play and cash out. Join now and see all that sports betting has to offer. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That is sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus, please play responsibly. David Quinn, new head coach of the San Jose Sharks. Don't know a lot about him.
He's gorgeous.
David Quinn reminded me that the Olympics happened this year. David Quinn was the coach of the U.S. team.
I believe you. You could be making that up.
The Eric Stahl thing that happened there, where he went to the Olympics and he said, "Okay, I'm going to go to the Olympics and I'm going to get a contract coming out of it," and they never got the contract, And then
PTO with Florida.
That did work, but he expected to be on a team come
Playoffs
deadline, where you could make a playoff roster. And like David Quinn, head coach of the U.S. men's team, like after he's fired from New York, when owner of the Rangers went crazy.
Dolan? James Dolan.
James Dolan goes crazy, and then they don't make the playoffs, and he fires everybody, and then Quinn gets that fire. And then we all kind of pretended like the Olympics didn't really happen with hockey. I guess the rest of the world kind of cared. But
well, there was a bunch of stories going in. Remember, Josh Hosang was going to get a contract after that, too, and the Leafs wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. They didn't even call him up.
I do not remember who won.
Oh, gosh. It was...
I know the Canadian women won.
I think it was Sweden, wasn't it? And the men's side? I know the Canadian women.
Man. I think it was
who won
Russia, but
all right, hold on. I'm gonna look it up. No, nobody look it up.
Okay.
Who won the gold medal men's?
I think it's Sweden. I think Steve is right.
I think it's not Russia.
I don't remember.
What do you think? Give me your guesses.
Sweden.
Not Russia.
No. Give me your guess.
Not Russia.
Okay, but give me your guess.
Team not Russia.
That's who his guess is. The ROC.
Oh, team not. Oh, the Olympic athletes from Russia.
Yeah,
okay,
ROC.
fair enough. It's Jesse.
I'm going with Steve's guess. Sweden.
I said not Russia.
Yeah, but you said Sweden initially, so I'm taking that initial guess.
No, I think I did, but also Finland won. Finland wins the gold medal.
Oh, Harri Sateri.
Yeah. And then the Coyotes wrecked his career.
Yeah.
And Filppula joined the triple thing.
Yeah, don't you think...
The most heartbreaking story in NHL history.
I know. Don't you think the Leafs owe Harri Sateri a PTO just for funsies?
No, he's on a team.
Is he?
Yeah. Is he still with the Coyotes?
No, it was only the rest of the year.
No, he went to overseas, right?
I think the Coyotes owe him like a meal card for ASU. Joke organization. What the fuck?
Just fucking with you.
Oh, gosh.
Very funny.
But yeah, I guess I don't know about his performance. Where did the U.S. finish at the Olympics?
Not good, if I remember correct.
All right.
Or the final. I don't know. We didn't watch the match.
The Russian Olympic Committee won silver.
Mm-hmm.
Slovakia won bronze.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
cool.
that.
That's very cool.
That was talked about ad nauseum at the draft.
Yes.
And then where was the U.S.?
U.S. lost in the quarters.
Quarters. No,
that's the women's side. I'm looking at the women's side. Women's results. Men's results. Quarterfinals. Slovakia beats United States. Russia beat Denmark. Sweden beat Canada. Finland. So U.S. and Canada out in the quarters, along with Switzerland and Denmark. And then Finland beat Slovakia. Russia beat Sweden. And then it was Slovakia, Sweden. Slovakia beat Sweden 4-0. You would tell me, like, USA hockey and Canadian hockey were definitely hurt by the men not being there. The men's,
yes,
the men,
obviously.
but also Sweden.
Oh, Sweden big time. The third most NHLers.
That's right. We found that out. So Russia's only fifth now.
I believe it's Canada, US, Sweden, Finland, Russia.
Wow.
I think. Man, you know who the Olympics super didn't help, and you mentioned him? Josh Hosang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't help him at all.
No, he was like their 13th forward, and Canada played like, I don't know how many games he even got in, 3. Like, yeah, he would have been better off staying with the Marlies.
Is he back with the org this year?
No, he signed, I want to say he signed with Salavat Ulayev in the KHL.
He's going to go to Russia?
It's not a... I didn't think it's...
Maybe it's a money thing?
Well, they have...
Money.
Are
they oil money?
Salavat?
Yeah.
The whole KHL is basically oil money.
Okay. Can you pronounce this team that Harri Sateri signed with? They're in Switzerland.
EHC Biel Bien.
I don't know if you're saying that right.
Bien bien.
If bien means the same thing in French as it does in that,
Adam, do you want
then it means they're good.
Do you want to take a stab at that?
It looks like the French side of, like, the closer to France with bien.
Bien bien.
Okay.
I think, I don't know. Or bieni.
Beal instead that means Beal good.
Beal good. It's a Beal good at HC.
Beal good. Dun, 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 dun.
Harry Sateri, everybody.
You know what? I'm going to be following Harry Sateri season. I hope he has a banger year.
We better check in like once a month on how Harry Sateri is
That's
doing.
the Harry Sateri watch.
Yeah. The most tragic story in NHL history.
He could have come and played for the Leafs. Did he even get into a game with the Coyotes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got into 3 and got shelled in all of them. Good
6
going,
games. He got 6 games. He was 2-1.
Well, he did get a win. A couple wins.
Two wins. 2 career NHL wins. And he was an .866.
I'm surprised the save percentage was that high.
Yeah, they also suck. Like, they were bad.
Every time I saw Bill Armstrong's smug face at the draft, I was like, shut up.
Hey,
He was dead silent, and I was like, shut up, Bill.
doesn't anybody want John Klingberg? What's going on there?
Dude.
Like, you can talk about Nazem Kadri all you want about holding up the market, but John Klingberg is a high-scoring, puck-moving defenseman. How is John Klingberg on the market?
So, well, I remember the discussion mid-season being like, oh yeah, he wants 8 times 8. And what is getting closer and closer to happening for some of these players is there's just straight up no space to be had. Remember when Cody Franzen was like, I want $6 million? And the Leafs were like, the best we can do
is 5 over 5.
No, it was...
They offered him a 5-year, $25 million deal.
I think it was 2 times 3.
No, they offered him a 5-year deal, Steve.
Oh, I do remember hearing about this.
Yeah, 5 year and $5 million per.
But so, like every so often, a player gets screwed. I remember, wasn't there a story about Martin Biron overplaying his hand? He wanted like $6 million after a good season, and he settled for 1 somewhere.
Oh,
I want to say it was with the Rangers or something.
Oh,
I mean, you overplay your hand, and if you don't have a dance partner in the first 2-3 days of free agency, sometimes you're kind of fucked.
Especially with a flat cap.
Who's got $6 million to give to John Klingberg right now?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
It's very difficult. And like, so, okay, some of us think Klingberg is going to re-sign in Dallas. What is preventing Dallas from doing that? What we all think, or some of us think, Kadri might re-sign in Colorado. What is preventing Kadri from doing that?
Cap space, because teams need to trade things away so they can bring on new players.
Well, so what is Dallas trying to do?
Drop salary.
And what is Colorado trying to do?
Drop salary.
And what teams are involved? So
Well,
that
you've
means
got-
someone is going to get someone from Colorado. Someone is going to get someone from Dallas. John Klingberg signs. Kadri signs. All of a sudden, there's a secondary market. There's Paul Stastny. And oh shit, what if I got neither of them? And then there's, I don't know, you call it the Jets and try to get Pierre Luc-Dubois.
And the other thing is, there are 2 teams currently under the floor, Ducks and Coyotes. So you know that they're going to add, unless somebody's on IR that Cap Friendly has listed, and I'm not going to check because it really doesn't matter. It's the middle of the summer. But then you got the Sabres at $62 million, and then you've got, like, the Stars do have the money. They're $71 million right now. That's their projected cap right now.
So what's the holdup?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
why is it taking
Maybe
2
it's a
weeks?
pride thing, guys. Maybe it's like
Could be that.
he doesn't want to. Maybe the Stars are saying, if you're going to sign here, you're signing long term at our number. And
Okay,
after a season of going, no, fuck your number, he's probably like, I can't go back and do that now.
Oh, okay, fine, but pride's going to get you screwed. Potentially.
I wonder if a team like the New York Islanders, if the Senators are players all of a sudden, 71 million.
So the Islanders are actually a surprisingly large factor because there is a theory out there that the Islanders have actually made several signings and announced none of them because Lou Lamoriello.
Why does he just does that to fuck with people, right?
Yes, I
Okay,
think
all
so.
right. Maybe they've already signed Kadri and we won't find out till training camp.
That is a theory that is out there. I have a very difficult time believing it's true.
If,
I
if
mentioned-
Lou gave Kadri, by the way, both of his big contracts in his career, how hilarious would that be?
Lou gave Kadri a 6-year deal.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mentioned these 2
Yes, go
names
ahead.
last episode, but like Donato's still out there, and Stastny, as we mentioned, and even Evan Rodriguez,
Sonny
who
Milano.
had 40 points last
Stanton
year.
Heinen?
Sonny Milano had 34 points, 14 goals.
What team
why-
couldn't use Zach Aston Reese? You know what I mean?
And why have the Ducks not re-signed Sonny Milano?
Like, Zach Aston Reese is the sort of guy you don't really want in the offseason, and then at the trade deadline, you're like, oh, I gotta get rid of the second round pick for him. I can't help myself. It's burning a hole in my pocket. I just gotta. That's exactly the type of player he is. $2 million. Go fuck yourself, Zach. Trade deadline. Oh my God, here's the second round pick. Zach Aston Reese. Has to happen. Or did he sign? I want to say there were a couple
Zach
signings
Aston
trickled in
Reese
recently.
did sign.
What? For how much?
Where?
Was it $2 million?
Oh, no, he's still a UFA.
Because the Leafs are apparently interested if they can drop salary.
All right.
Oh, I just gotta. Well, and that's like
I saw a graph today.
Someone is very obviously getting traded from the Leafs. Who's it going to be?
I saw a graph today that Justin Hall is looking like he's a good guy to shut stuff down on defensively. That's what he's in some good company in the playoffs.
How about you shut down his ability to play for the Leafs by trading him?
I mean, listen, they do believe in him. Keefe and Dubas believe wholeheartedly in Justin Hall.
He went to the Martin Marincin school of your graph is wrong. Okay, yeah. I know he does some things well. But I watch and he's bad. So
on rush defense, it's Dmitry Filipovich. On rush defense, he's one of the better players on the.
I don't want to do this. Like that. I don't want to just get into let's read this chart and talk about it.
Go ahead and read the bunch of words.
Goes into these things.
Go on and read that big bunch of words.
No, but then you have to explain how everything's made.
Yeah, it's just zone entry defense, guys. It's just one specific aspect.
It's unfair just to read. He ranks in this unless you explain how that ranking comes about.
Yeah. It's Martin Marincin is the best blue line defender in the league, and then once the puck enters the zone, it's like playing Minesweeper on extreme difficulty, and 90% of the spots are mines! Stop it!
Yep.
He has Brian McCabe syndrome. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but all of them are catastrophic. He went to the Justin Hall school of every mistake is in the back of the net.
Yes. Yep.
Is that the goaltending was bad, or is that the opportunities were extraordinarily bad?
Yep.
I was talking to someone with ties to the Leafs organization, and there's some debate there about like Jack Campbell's numbers. Because his numbers were bad for the vast majority of the season.
Yep.
Except for obviously November when he was unbeatable. They were bad for the vast majority of the season. And how many games did you watch and you were like, man, Jack Campbell was shit tonight?
I wouldn't say all the time, but it's like every once in a while you go, man, can I just get a fucking save?
Right. But like,
it wasn't like
if he
wasn't Vesatoskalo. He wasn't like, wow, this is bad. And from minute one, it's bad.
If you and I were a defense pair for the Leafs,
it would be bad.
It would be bad. So let's say we gave up kindly 60 shots.
Okay.
And 12 of them went in every game, which is kind. Would we be looking at the goalie going, can we just get a save? Or would we be like, the players in front of him can't play?
But the players in front of him can play. Or at least some of the players.
No, I'm here to tell you no.
I think, by the way...
Some of the players, sure.
Yeah, some of the players. The ones that, for whatever reason, were sitting, like Rasmus Sandin, before he was injured. Forget the injury.
Yeah.
Don't understand those lineup decisions. I don't get it.
And we don't like Rasmus on the right. Okay, well, maybe warm up to the idea, because you've put yourself in a position where you have too many fucking guys on the left, and you need to move out cap, and one of your worst defensemen makes $2 million, and
because you signed him to that.
Yeah, because you signed him. You signed Justin Hall to a 3-year deal for some reason. Like, guys. Anyway, so all of that to say, there sure seems to be a lot of things that still need to happen, like a ridiculous amount of things. You talked about the teams that are under the floor. How about all the teams that are above the cap? And like, I don't know, do the Leafs, for example, or any other team who's over the cap, have a player where they're going to be like, oh no, We accidentally scheduled their surgery for October 1st.
Oh, I think there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, me too.
The other thing I was thinking about the other day is going into 2025, the summer of 25, we know that the cap's going to jump like $10 million. And I wondered how many teams...
Where did you hear that? I've never heard that.
On Agent Provocateur with Allan Walsh.
I was thinking, have an update in the Ivan Holinka?
I was thinking that a lot of teams might just say, screw it. And so like, let's say you're a rich team. And you're like, let's go $6 million over the cap this year because we can sign one more player that's going to put us over the top. And next year, okay, we'll lose $6 million on the cap, but the cap's jumping by $10 million. Who cares? If it jumps by that much, you're still at like 87, 88 million. Who cares?
Could the NHL potentially fine you if you did that?
No, that's not part of the deal. Unless Gary's just making up rules as he's going along.
Well,
but the whole thing is, if you're over the cap, it eats into your next year. Yeah, he does. Yeah,
bad news.
Yeah, and he is on a 5-year contract that was signed right after Kyle Beach. Let's not forget that. Mm-hmm. No one's reporting that for some reason. Okay, so
that's a thing.
This is where it gets tough, right? So
Feel free to credit us.
International news, but the top headline, obviously, this morning was, and this is just in the news, not just sports news, but obviously the first day of hearings yesterday between Hockey Canada and the government of Canada regarding this sexual assault case, and not just this one. Whatever they want to know, what else, right?
Yeah, it's more of a they're just taking a look at Hockey Canada as an organization, as a body.
So here's what's interesting, and I'm going to read through this. And by the way, when you hear this information will be not necessarily outdated, but there will be more added on to this.
Well, day 2 is happening as we speak. So I think it's important that we'll come back to it on Friday, but I think it's important that you know this much. And I'm just going to lift directly from the Globe and Mail news. They have a news bulletin that they put out every morning. Ottawa was told by Hockey Canada in 2018 about sexual assault allegations involving members of that year's Canadian World Junior team, but didn't follow up with the organization about the complaint for 4 years, according to federal officials. So Sport Canada, which none of us had ever heard about until this investigation, they're a part of Heritage Canada, did get notification from Hockey Canada that this happened. But here's the problem. They said, well, and this is where it gets in, they get into this. They were like, well, the London police were doing an investigation. And then they just never followed up. So going back to the Globe and Mail, until this past spring, Sport Canada had thought a police investigation into the alleged assault in London was continuing, according to Isabelle Mondo, Deputy Minister for the Department of Canadian Heritage, which oversees Sport Canada. She said it wasn't until May, when Hockey Canada reached out to inform Sport Canada that the allegations were about to become public, that the government realized London Police Service had concluded its probe without charges in early 2019. So Sport Canada, by the way, has been like, hey, Hockey Canada, what the hell? Mm-hmm. What the hell is going on over there? Sport Canada's in on this now. Follow up, man. Send an email. The revelation emerged Tuesday during high-profile public testimony before the Canadian Heritage Parliamentary Committee. Again, Sport Canada is a part of the Canadian Heritage Committee, or not committee, but they're part of the Canadian Heritage thing in the government, which is examining Hockey Canada's handling of the sexual assault allegations, while the conduct of the national governing body for hockey had been the focal point of the hearings in June. It was Ottawa that was under the microscope on Tuesday. Now, Danielle Robitaille, who is the attorney for Heenan Hutchinson, is now reinvestigating. So this is the same law group that were hired on to investigate the original thing. And at that time, she said that we'd already interviewed 10 players connected to this. And I don't know if that was connected necessarily to the event itself or just connected to that team. She has a copy of the details. Has a copy of the complainant details, so she knows what the complainant is saying happened. Yeah. Hockey Canada has made it clear that any player that won't cooperate will in these investigations now. So she's going to go back and reinvestigate and redo this properly. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it didn't happen the first time. That's still unclear. But any player that won't cooperate will face a lifetime ban from Hockey Canada and have their names published publicly. Tom Rennie, who is the CEO, and Scott Smith, who is... Scott Smith.
Yeah, so Tom Rennie's the outgoing CEO this year. Scott Smith is the new one. They'll be back today, and they're going to have they're going to be questioned. Glenn McCurdy and Rick Westhead pointed this out on TSN, who handled, quote, risk management for Hockey Canada, will be interviewed. So you can imagine that that's probably what his job was to do that. The three major junior commissioners. So the QMJHL, the WHL, and I believe the CHL, OHL,
QMJH, yes.
Me. So the three CHL commissioners will be in.
I forget who they are.
And they will be questioned. What's interesting is they're going to be asking for historical information. So beyond this 2018 incident, what else? What is this? What's a normal year like for you guys?
Well, doesn't
anyway,
the QMJHL have an ongoing investigation that Rick was reporting on?
Yes, I believe so. And, what were the incidents? What were the payouts? So that's what they're going to talk to them today about.
I don't think Rick sleeps.
No, I don't think so either. Hockey Canada released a plan right before, like the day before. Like the last time we did a show, right afterwards, they released a detailed plan on how they're going to deal with toxic hockey culture, which, by the way, up until this time, a few months ago, they were claiming wasn't a thing. Toxic hockey culture is the thing. They will have a centralized tracking and reporting system for abuse, universal code of conduct to prevent and address maltreatment, annual publicly published records on abuse complaints. There will be a new third-party organization that will work with Sport Canada to receive and investigate abuse complaints. One of the signatories to that will be Hockey Canada. So far, only two other government-funded sports organizations have signed on to this. Which is shocking to me. The other two, so Hockey Canada will sign on. The other two are volleyball and weightlifting, and that's it.
What? Really?
Have signed on to agree to work with this independent organization.
So far.
I'm assuming that everybody else is going to. Mm-hmm. And I just want to read you an update from today, because this will unfortunately blow you away. Rick is live tweeting a lot of this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He said, Hockey Canada says there have been 12 uninsured abuse claims settled worth a collective $1.3 million. Let's talk about what an uninsured abuse claim is. So usually, if you've got insurance against these types of things, what happens is the abuse claim is made. If you're looking to settle it without going to a civil court, essentially, you can do it two ways. You can settle it with your own money, or you can settle it with the insurance money that you pay an insurer to insure you for this instance. However, if you do that, you then have to report it to the insurer. And I don't know if it becomes public record at that point, but the reality is, if you bring another party in, they're going to have to account for where that money went. They're going to have to say, well, it went to Hockey Canada. So it allows reporters like Rick to go, hey, so why did you pay out that money? And they're like, oh, we can't talk about it. And then they go to Hockey Canada.
And the insurance company will do a deep dive into if they feel like they should be paying this money. And they do their own investigation and all those kinds of things.
Because insurance companies don't like paying money.
Insurance companies love just saying, oh, yeah, you filed this claim. Here's your money. That's what they do.
Yeah. Super good about it.
Yeah.
So Hockey Canada says there have been 12 uninsured abuse claims. These are claims that they are like, you know what, we're not even going to bother with insurance on this one. We're just going to pay it.
They paid it with the National Equity Fund.
Bingo. Exactly. One perpetrator was connected to 4 of those claims.
What?
One perpetrator connected to 4 of those claims. Remember the grand total I gave you? $1.3 million. Okay?
You said there's 12?
There are 12 uninsured abuse claims. One person connected to 4 of those claims accounts for $1 million of the 1.3 paid out. One person.
Which means the other 8.
It's like about 300 grand. Now, it doesn't mean the other 8 aren't involved with this one perpetrator. But that tweet came up just as the show started, so I bookmarked it. Because I figured, no, this is, like we talked about, this is an unraveling. This is going to get worse. One person, 1 million of the 1.3 million.
Hockey Canada has been hiding a criminal.
Well, yeah, you're aiding and abetting crime.
4 times for one individual.
For one guy.
Allegedly.
Unfortunately, I have to throw that out there.
Yeah, you do have to say allegedly. You're right. No, it's fair.
I mean, holy fuck, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Scott Smith has said, Sheldon Kennedy said yesterday that all the board should resign. And I want to come back to that for a second. Not just the leadership, but the board, the CEO and the board. And conservative MP John Nader read that aloud, Sheldon Kennedy's statement. And he said, frankly, Mr. Smith, we agree with him. I strongly believe there needs to be new leadership within Hockey Canada. Will you step down? And Mr. Smith said he will not.
Wow.
And he said, I will gladly do whatever you've put in front of me. And this is just the updates from these hearings. Obviously, we'll get deeper dive into it on Wednesday or on Friday. But just so you know, he said, Scott Smith said, we'll do whatever we need to do. Whatever you tell us to do, we will do. But Sheldon Kennedy, I think, made a really good point. And again, I was watching this on TSN this morning on the website. He said, listen, the people who run this organization, the members of the board, the CEOs, everybody right on down in the leadership executive were born and bred essentially in this organization.
Yes.
When you start off as an employee somewhere, you become a part of a company culture. It just happens, right? And especially if you're there for 20 years, there's parts of that just imprint themselves on you. And what Sheldon Kennedy is saying is to break this cycle, when you've had a culture of aiding and abetting, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, even though we know, allegedly, how do you then expect the same people who have aided and abetted for 20 or 25 years to then one day go, we got a plan?
Well, people
will switch.
Scott Smith was hired by people who I think we can all agree are unfit to lead.
Well, it's becoming clear that yes.
And, maybe it's unfortunate for the guy. Who knows? Maybe he would be great at this role. But he was hired by people whose judgment we cannot trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, I believe, is the point of what Sheldon Kennedy is saying.
And I'm to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised. So people are basically calling for them to step down. I'm really surprised that Bob Nicholson's name has not come up more, because you got to remember all the stuff leading up to this. We're talking about 2014 and afterwards, but the government is going deeper into that. Now, I'm not accusing him of anything, but he was the CEO from 1998 to 2013.
It's coming.
We're just probably not there yet in the timeline.
Yeah.
They got to work their way there.
I'm not being cheeky. It's coming.
Yeah.
There was another big one from Rick that I don't think people fully appreciated. Danielle Robitaille cited solicitor-client privilege in declining to answer some questions from MPs. This was on day one. I being Rick, asked Robitaille following her testimony whether it's accurate to describe Heinen Hutchinson's investigation as independent. She declined to answer.
Well, I'm not totally surprised by that. That you listen, I'm not asking you to like it, but I'm not surprised by it.
It reads,
there would be questions in there that are, I know, but as a part of our rules, there are attorney-client privileges that exist currently. Some of that information will come out, but the reality is, and I know how bad it looks because it's bad, but and I'm not trying to water this down, but as a lawyer doing an investigation, that has to exist.
The company
attorney-client privilege.
No, of course. That wasn't the part I had the biggest problem with.
It's Heinen Hutchinson, by the way, just so you...
My bad.
No, it's all good.
It's because of Dan Heinen. Heinen Hutchinson, is it accurate to call it an independent investigation? And she refused to answer. That's bad.
If I'm in that position, I probably don't answer a question from Rick.
Oh, yeah, no.
Just like,
and as a lawyer, she's looking at this like, I'm not going to let you pin me on anything.
No.
I don't want to say anything that later on comes back to bite me. So of course she's not going to answer.
No, if Rick Westhead is asking questions, I put on a blindfold and pretend like I'm playing a really long game of pin the tail on the donkey to find my way out of the room. Because, that dude's the Grim Reaper. Dude, it's so bad. Holy fuck, man. And like when people talk about systemic issues, it's a word that is maybe overused, or maybe not overused, but it's a word that people maybe don't understand. Are you seeing the web here? Mm-hmm. So there's what? There's the government and like the three major parties. I don't know if the Bloc have any people asking questions.
Oh yeah, but everybody's got it.
Oh well,
there's 5 parties involved.
So there, you get all 5 major parties involved. You have Hockey Canada. You have, Sport Canada. Mm-hmm. You have, what was the other thing that you mentioned?
So it's Hockey Canada, Sport Canada,
Heritage.
The Heritage, which runs it all. Heritage runs Sport Canada, which runs Hockey Canada, essentially, which funds Hockey Canada.
Right. And the government funds Hockey Canada. They're asking
through the Heritage Committee, through Sport Canada.
Are you seeing this? You know what I mean? And the government who helps fund Hockey Canada is asking the head to step down, and he is responding by simply saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
He's saying he's committed to fixing it, and he wants to be the guy that fixes it.
Okay, that's great that you feel that way. I asked you to get the fuck out.
Yeah, but
so I don't care.
The
what
MPs,
you have to say.
the MP, obviously they can forcibly remove him through a House of Commons vote. I believe there'd have to be some sort of thing that way. But he's essentially going to force their hand on that one if they really want to pursue it. And the thing is that you'd have very few dissenting voices at that point. But the one argument he would have is, I just got this. I literally just got here. I don't know what his history is.
You were hired by people we don't trust. Get out.
Yeah.
I would love to know what
you
were hired by people we don't trust. Get out. Sorry. Best of luck. You'd be lucky to get sorry. Best of luck.
Let me see.
Who knows? He could go down as
he's worked at Hockey.
The dude who changed it all.
But he has worked at Hockey Canada since 1995.
Oh, get the fuck out! Get out!
He was VP and Chief Operating Officer from 2007 to 2016, President from 16 to 22, and now the CEO.
That's a Hockey Canada lifer.
You've been with Hockey Canada since the Avalanche became a team. Get the fuck out of here! Stop! Do you see why this all needs change? Why this all needs to be torn down?
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting away from the revelation that you just made. There's been, what was it? 13 other. 12 other settlements that were uninsured.
Mm-hmm. One of them pertaining to one guy.
Four of them pertain to one guy.
And by guy, we don't know.
Well, 4 of them pertain to one person.
Yeah.
Guys, this is day 2. This is the middle of day 2.
The whole organization needs to go. We need to reset the entirety of Hockey Canada.
This is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We found out about the 2003 allegations 5 days ago. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah. You know, it's a shame because these guys will go out and they'll say, well, look at all the good we did for the youth in Canada and whatever. And that might all be true, but the reality is a situation like this wipes that out.
Well, you have a lot of people who say it doesn't trickle down enough. Mm-hmm. The majority of the funding goes to the big programs, and the grassroots doesn't get enough. And it's choking the roots, by the way. Hockey is not thriving in this country the way it used to.
No. It's too expensive.
Enrollments are down. Sean Fitzgerald has done terrific work over this over the last 3-ish years. If you go through his articles in the Athletic,
more than that, he wrote a book
before the lights go out.
Wrote an entire book on it as well. Yeah, before the lights go out. Hockey enrollments falling in Canada. That's just the truth. Less and less people year after year are playing hockey.
People don't feel like it's safe on the ice. People don't feel like it's safe off the ice. It's unaffordable. Ice is impossible to come by. And these are all things that you would think an organization like Hockey Canada would help to improve.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, we have the awful culture that they've perpetuated for decades.
The golf tournament that the alleged incident in 2018 happened at raised $1 million for the organization.
Well, and you want to talk again? I want to throw this out there.
Where'd that money go?
Chris Nowinski, who is a former WWE superstar. I don't know if you remember Chris Nowinski.
Yes, the college guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Yeah. The Harvard guy.
He's also a doctor.
Right.
And this morning, a Frontiers in Neurology released breakthrough analysis revealing that repetitive head impacts are a definitive cause of CTE. So before it was like, we're pretty sure. Now it's definitive. That's the analysis.
Do we want to?
And so you talk about unsafe on ice. That's why I bring that up.
Right.
And that came out today.
Yeah. Well, whether that came out today or not, that is how people feel.
Yeah. Sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
All right. Do we want to end on a good note?
I do.
All right, so this is from Yeet69 on our Discord server in the press conference questions channel. Build the perfect Leafs roster So if we get 5 players, 5 skaters, 1 goalie, each position, from every player that's ever worn a Leafs jersey in the NHL.
So, but I'm choosing them as they were a Leaf.
No. Your entire pool is everybody who's ever worn a Leafs jersey, and you got to get 6 players. 1 goalie. So
you're getting every player at their peak.
You're getting them at their peak. Or should we do you're getting them when they were a Leaf? That's probably better.
At their peak is more fun.
At their peak is way more fun.
All right.
At their peak is more fun.
All right.
I need to check something.
All right, so
Okay.
I'll start
Adam,
it off.
you build your roster. Steve, you build
I'm going to
yours.
start you off. I'll start from goaltending. Jacques Plante would be my goalie.
Oh, fuck.
Jacques Plante for sure is my goalie.
G. Plante.
J. Plante. Jacques.
Yeah.
G.
No,
Plante.
G goalie.
Oh, yeah. G goalie. I think it was like, Jacques Plante.
G
On,
goalie.
I don't even care what side. Right or left defense, Brian Leach and Phil Housley.
Oh, you fucker.
RD.
Yeah.
Leach,
That's who I would take.
LB. Housley.
So the forward is where it becomes a little bit more difficult.
I'm going to post your 2 lineups, and then people got to say who would win it in a single game.
Austin Matthews is on my forwards.
Ooh.
Doug Gilmour.
You got to pick them at the position. So if you pick Matthews, he's got to be a center.
Okay, Matthews is center then.
Okay.
Yeah, no question. Matthews is center.
You can't
You can
just
still pick
you
Matthews.
can't just put 3 centers.
You can
up
put
there.
Matthews v. Matthews, man. It doesn't matter.
No, fuck that.
Why are you doing that to yourself?
Because
That's not fair.
Pick Matthews.
Don't watch that. I'm working on it.
All right.
I'm working on it.
Who's
So wait, do you have your team yet? Yeah.
So I've got Plante, Leach, Housley, Matthews, which opens you up to some pretty great centers. I'm not going to lie. Like, you've got unbelievable centers there. You know what? I'm tempted because his playmaking is so good to go with Mitch Marner, and I wonder if that's recency bias. Guys, show me a better playmaker in Leafs history.
He's not even wrong.
Oh, no!
Show me a better playmaker in Leafs history ever,
The internet's going to be upset.
especially on the wing.
Oh, God.
What
on
have
the
they
wing.
ever gotten right?
I'm thinking about it. I got to think about it.
Oh,
So wait,
gosh.
do you want to finish your team?
No,
Or
keep going.
should
You
I
can jump in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start yours. Go ahead.
Adam is right. Oh, man. Shit. The Leafs have had some extraordinarily good goalies. Not necessarily all at their peak, but like Hockey Hall of Famers like
Terry Sawchuk.
Curtis Joseph, Ed Belfour, Terry Sawchuk, Grant Fuhr,
Yeah,
Felix Buffett. I'm going to say Terry Sawchuk.
you should.
He had 100 shutouts.
But I still think Plante was better. I do. I honestly do think Plante was a better goalie.
Ken Dryden was GM. Can I make him the goalie?
I know you can't. You can make him part of your management team, though. He was pretty good at that.
Like Connor McDavid wore a Leaf jersey as a child. Can I make him the center?
No, you can't.
Fuck. Okay, so Terry Sawchuk is the goalie. On defense, I don't give a shit about right versus left. So I'm going to go Brian Leach at his peak and Borje Salming
Oh, that's a good one.
at his peak.
And I love Borja.
He's so good.
But you know,
I mean, you got to have some pure Leafs in there.
but that's, well, do you? Because that's
I
why
do.
Austin is my pure Leaf. I think Phil Housley is objectively, no offense to Borja Salming, but Phil Housley's a better defenseman.
Center is a very difficult conversation because Austin Matthews just scored 60 goals and 1 Hart. Matthews is Mr. Leaf, basically.
Sundin, Gilmore.
And you know who everyone's forgetting in this conversation? Another Hart winner, Eric Lindros.
Yeah.
At
At
his
his peak.
Yeah, if you get peak Lindros.
Oh, and he won the Hart. He won the Hart. He was a fucking monster. He had like 75 points in 40 games or something stupid
Yep.
when he won the Hart.
Yeah, he was great.
I'm still going to go Matthews at center.
Mhm.
Right wing, you might find this weird. Owen Nolan.
At his peak, pretty dangerous.
Pretty dangerous.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think left wing.
Okay, so my right
Jonas
wing.
Hoagland.
My right wing is Alex McGillney.
Yeah, I was thinking about him.
Yeah. I'm taking Alex McGillney for sure. At his peak, he was unfucking real. That guy, didn't he score 70 goals in a year?
76.
Wow.
Yeah, McGillney.
You know what? McGillney. Yeah.
It's got to be McGillney, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty...
And then,
Has
and then we got to
any
find a
Leaf
left.
ever
No, you
scored-
already have your right wing.
Do I?
Steve?
I'm putting him on the left.
No, you can't do that. What? We've been here.
We don't. We have positionless defense. We get a positionless wing. Can't we?
No.
Really?
Let's get a little. Let's have some parameters.
He was a right winger.
McGinley. Let's triple
He shot
check.
left, didn't he?
Right wing. Shoots left, right wing. Hockey reference. Fuck. McGinley's a right winger. He has to go to right wing.
Oh, this is horseshit. You're horseshit. You're a tyrant.
Adam, who's on your left? You didn't do one yet?
On left, I do not have a left winger yet.
Jack Hyman.
Michael Bunting.
A true hockey man's would absolutely pick like a Zach Hyman. Like, you need to have some grit in there. It's like, no, pick the best player.
Dave
you
Keon.
knobs.
Was Dave Keon a left winger? Or was he center? Jesse's looking it up. Survey says. Jesse! Survey says!
Okay. Hockey reference center.
Jesus.
Fuck!
Yeah. I'm checking your guys' damn defense too. Now that we're here.
We already said that we're going positionless defense.
But like we can edit on the fly.
No.
Okay, so hockey reference is puts defensemen back in that era just as D.
Yes.
So you get
Thank you.
you
Because
get
nobody
either
gave a
side
shit about
defense.
handedness.
Nobody really.
No, and
cared.
you know what? Honestly, we put too much into it. It's like a 0.5% difference for a lot of guys.
It
And
helps,
was a
it helps
center.
with the passing.
we got to stop this.
You know who we forgot?
It's why we're dressing Justin Hall over Rasmus Sandin. Okay,
You know who we forgot? Ronnie
was like-
Franchise.
Ronnie Franchise was good, but he's not. Dude,
No.
he's an amazing
No, I
hockey
know.
player.
This is the all-time Leafs roster. Like you gotta.
Let's just go through the friggin' did George Armstrong play left wing?
Okay,
you could say
Why are we having so much trouble with left wing?
you could have some Jumbo Joe Thornton.
He was left wing for the
he was
Leafs.
left wing for the
That's
Leafs.
such
No,
an asterisk
that's-
because he was left wing for the
left wing
Leafs,
for the
but he was
Leafs.
his center most of his career.
And
George Armstrong was a right wing.
okay, hold up.
Joe Thornton's a center. Shut
we should
up,
be
you
able to
guys. You're so
when with the Leafs.
So when are you taking him? During his peak.
Yeah.
So he was a center.
Well, then I can't have friggin' Brian Leach at his peak.
Wow.
No, you
'Cause
take
he
them at
wasn't
his
a Leaf
peak.
during his peak.
You take them at their
No,
peak.
no.
I don't like these rules that you're putting midway through.
No, it's the player at their peak, and they once put on a Leafs jersey.
Yeah.
No, so you're getting them at their best.
He should
Yeah,
be a
that's
center
what I
slash
said.
left wing.
No, we shouldn't. You can't just put the center at the left wing. We're doing all-time
Okay,
Leafs roster
my left
by
winger
position.
is Austin Matthews because at the
No.
World Hockey Championship
No.
or at the
No.
World Cup of Hockey, he was on
His-
McDavid's wing.
his position
and I'm putting
is-
McDavid at center because he wore a
Joe
Leaf jersey
Thornton
as a
should
child.
count as a winger because he
No,
didn't
he
play
shouldn't. He's a center.
I don't get that.
He's a
I
center.
don't understand that. I
Joe
don't believe
Thornton
that's
is
right.
a center. No one would say,
I think
look
that's
at Joe
wrong.
Thornton's
What
career.
position did Daryl Sittler
Marlowe
play?
played never center for the Leafs, and he was a center his whole career.
Joe Thornton, position, center. I'm just going off a hockey reference.
I'm never going to forgive hockey reference for this because Joe Thornton would be perfect with McGillney and Matthews. You know
so
that.
I don't care how right you are, you're wrong.
All right, Matt Sundin, right winger. That's not the assignment. Just
All the good
play
players are
game.
centers. This is bullshit.
All-time Leafs roster. We just need left wingers.
Do you not have one either?
No, I don't have a left.
You should have let us do McGillney. You're a piece of shit.
I'm doing McGillney. Okay, Dave Anderchuk. That's my left winger.
Frank Mihalovic.
Mahovlich was.
At his peak? Shit's sake. Yeah, Andrechuk was the center too, I thought.
Yeah, and I want Anderchuk in the early 90s when he had 41 goals and 50 assists for the Sabres. Or with the Leafs where he had 53 goals. Yeah, his best season was with the Leafs. So yeah, Dave Anderchuk is my left winger.
Dave Anderchuk. All right.
Mahovlich, eat shit.
And we have to specify when you put this up on Instagram that these players were at their peak, not necessarily their performance with the Leafs. Because Housley played like 3 fucking games.
Who are you, Steve?
Mahovlich.
Oh.
Mahovlich is the top scoring left winger in Leafs history. As a
there you
Leaf. As a Leaf.
Wendell Clark didn't crack the list for either of you at left wing.
See, he was another guy who was center though. And drafted as a D. So we can put Wendell Clark wherever we want. All right, now screw it. We're going to do lines 2 through 4.
No. Wendell Clark's a left winger. Well, Hockey Reference has Clark as a left winger.
I'm going to go Mahovlich anyway.
Okay. Just saying. Wendell would have qualified because Hockey Reference.
He's a very good player. Extremely good player. Mahovlich at his peak though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it.
But then, like, I don't know, are we disqualifying everyone who played with leather skates?
No, I think relative to their league, I think it's fair. Like, if you wanted to go with Hap Day or Red Kelly or any of those guys, you could.
Oh. Howie Meeker.
Still Apps. Still Apps was a great hockey player.
King Clancy.
Didn't Still Apps?
Who I will put wherever the fuck I want because he played every position.
He did. Didn't he play goalie too?
Yes.
Yeah. Still
I
Apps,
don't
by
know
the way.
why having parameters around a fun little assignment made you so upset.
Still
Steven.
Apps, by the way.
You were like putting up
volunteered for World War II
walls
and
while I
then
was
came
walking.
back and won a cup. I'm just throwing that out there. Still Apps. Ultimate badass.
least favorite Leaf ever, Jesse Blake.
GM, not player.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.